Hello flight simmers, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another full flight video. Today we have a bit of a special flight, or rather a special aircraft. As you can see, we are in the Airbus A321, the FSLabs A321 to be specific. But it is not a normal Airbus in a way, because it is the very first passenger converted freighter A321, which has been delivered to Australia Post, which is operated by Qantas, by the way. And yeah, well, so it's the very first of its kind, and it's of course flying the FSLabs. I should notice that it's of course only a cargo livery. So going a bit in closer, we can see we have a big cargo door over here, but that's we won't be able to operate it. That's just painted on the fuselage in a way. So yeah, unfortunately it's still a passenger aircraft, and yeah, anyway, it's kind of cool to have it in the sim after all, and so we can do a fun little flight from Melbourne up to Sydney. Regarding the aircraft itself, I thought maybe it's worthwhile to mention it's quite an old aircraft actually. It's almost 23 years old, has initially been delivered to British Midland, BMI, back in 1998, and yeah, then back in 2020 it has been converted in Singapore, I think it was, and then it has been delivered to Australia, and now it's basically shuttling between Melbourne and Sydney. Earlier on it has also been doing some flights to Perth, so yeah, quite an interesting story, I thought. And just in that very moment we get the dynamic lighting from the scenery. As you can see, sun is about to set. It's early, or not early actually, it's around 8 p.m. local time here in Melbourne. Door is closing already, so we should get inside the flight deck now and start preparing for our departure. Alright, so here we are, and now I think we are a few seconds behind this the schedule basically, but let's get started. We will fire up the APU, wait 3 seconds and then put it on. I will put on the seatbelt signs, yeah, just to make sure the flows are all right. And well, over here let's finish this one, so this should be correct. Let's double check the final load sheet. Zero fuel weight is 71, so it's a bit less than actually planned. And then zero fuel weight, center of gravity will be 33.6, so we need to update a bit of stuff here. Like this, we have 7.5 tons of fuel on board, that's fine. And other than that, let's request the takeoff data. Now I think we can depart runway 27 today, at least that's what the real world flight did. So winds 190 at 9, so 27 will work quite fine for us. As you can see, perfect weather, 27 degrees, very nice outside. So let's go to 7, and then we can leave all this kind as it is. Get the data in here. And config 1 should be fine, and then send it off. And flight plan is entered. We are gonna depart on the dorsal 1 departure, and it basically, so after departure it takes us into a right-hand turn. Maybe we can see it on here. If we do zoom out a bit. Yeah, so after departure we climb straight ahead, and then basically a big right-hand turn, and then we are off to Sydney. Pretty straightforward really, nothing to worry about. The only thing I am worried about is this bit here. I'm not sure why it's so far off. Let's go into plan mode and quickly step through and see what's going on there. And I can already see there's something in there which really shouldn't be there. That's quite interesting. So let's get rid of the second dorsal. I'm not sure what it's doing there, but it's entirely off. And let's try this again. So skipping through, and now this looks much better. And then yeah, the the arrival, of course, we will sort it out when we get there. Cool. So fuel prediction, and now it makes a lot of sense. So we basically have 0.6 tons on board, which we can play around with. That should be quite well. And let's see if we have the performance. There it is. I think we will go full length today. It makes most sense. So trim will be down 0.7 / down 0.7 like that. That goes in here. And then let's see, it's 139, 146, and 151. And flex temperature of 42. So a bit of a derate. We are actually, in terms of zero fuel weight, we are quite heavy, but since it is only a very short flight time, by the way, about 1 hour, we are not too heavy since the tanks are not very full. So that's all looking good. Now let's quickly go through some checklists here. Wait, one more thing. I need to set up the initial climb. Okay, there's no initial clearance on the chart, so let's go transition level, which is 10,000, like this. And then, before start checklist cockpit prep, we have done this. Gear pins and covers are removed, signs are on in auto, adheres on nav, fuel quantity. We have 7.48 on board, and it looks very balanced to me. Takeoff data is set and barrel reference is set. And before start checklist below the line, windows and doors. Let's lock this one. And windows are locked, doors are closed, beacons will go on like that. Mobile phones are off, thrust levers are idle, and parking brake is set. Okay, cool. So now we should get going. And right, external power is still there, sorry about that. And APU bleed goes on. Yes, they should be coming in to pick up the external power, and there they are. And oh, I'm just seeing, I think AI traffic is using the other runway, so that's a bit weird, but maybe we need to switch things around now. Okay, anyway, let's do the pushback first and then have a look at the runways once again. Put this one, okay, that's on performance, so let's put this one on flight plan.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Okay, I'm a bit confused by the selection here, but I think it's rather the tail to the south.
Departure check completed.
So let's see how that works out.
Release parking brakes.
Righty, releasing the parking brakes, starting clock time.
All engines clear. Start at will.
And we are cleared to fire up, so let's do it. Okay, I think now I get what they are doing. They're gonna push us all the way out there on alpha. That's why they showed us alpha on the selection, I think. So, okay, that's gonna be a rather long pushback now, but that's perfect. Then I will wait with the second engine, of course. The first one was a bit too early now. Oops, okay. weird, but that's fine. And well, let's have a quick look at Active Sky. See, it reads here, runway news is 16, and usually AI traffic actually sticks to whatever they read here. So I think we're just going to taxi out to runway 27, and then we will see what's going on when we get there, really. I think that's the best thing to do now. Okay, I think after this turn, actually the pushback will be completed, so I think we are good to fire up engine number 1 now. So it is getting a little bit dark, so let's turn up the lighting a bit more. Okay, it actually seems now they are... Yeah, I was reading wrong on the charts. They're actually going to bring us all the way down in alpha there, but you know what, guys? I think we will be all right here. If they do manage to stop us now, that would be kind of great. All right, that was super weird now, but we finally came to a halt, so now we can taxi out to the left, and that should work quite nicely. Okay, so both engines are running. Let's put the APU bleed off. We don't need the anti-ISIS. APU goes off, and that's already the cabin. Okay, that's how long the pushback actually took. This goes to normal, arm those. This goes to auto, flaps 1. Trim is 0. Weather radar can come on. And well, other than that, this goes to max, and after start checklist, anti-ice is not required. ECAM status is checked. Pitch trim is not set yet. We need down 0.7. And while we're here, let's do the flight controls. So full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, and the rudder full left and full right, neutral. That's checked. And rudder trim is 0 after start checklist complete. So let's put this one down, put the taxi lights on, and let's get going now. And let's see, we are in the IAE engines, so we do get rolling. Beautiful. Okay, and let's already get the before takeoff checklist to the line out of our way. So flight controls are checked, flight instruments are checked, briefing is confirmed. Flap setting is config 1. FMA and takeoff data, we have 139 blue, 151 magenta, climb nav blue, 10,000 blue, 1 flight directed 2, and flex temperature 42. That's set. Transponder is set, and PEX, the ECAM memo is takeoff, no blue. There we are. Okay, now let's see. We will have, of course, a left-hand turn there, and then if the apron is kind of empty, we can take the taxiway closer to the terminal, and that will save us a bit of way, but looks rather busy right now. Or I think we will quite simply follow those jet stars around. Yeah, that's what we will do. Okay, coming up to the runway now, so let's put the transponder to on and tilt above TARA like that, and all the lights like that. And before takeoff checklist below the line, cabin is secured, engine mode selector is normal, TCAS is TARA, and PEX are on before takeoff checklist is completed. So I actually needed to clear a bit of air traffic out, but now we should be fine. We just need to watch out for runway 16 if they are departing there. And then we will need to wait a second, but that shouldn't be too long. Okay, let's hold short another second and see what they are doing. Okay, they're not on the runway yet, so let's take the second and get out of here. So, advancing the thrust. And take off. Man, flex SRS and runway, switching to rudder pedals, of course. And now this will probably be a beautiful sunset departure even. That's quite nice. 100 knots. V1, rotate. So this runway is actually not too long, but that was a beautiful takeoff calculation. And positive rate, gears coming up. Nice. Very, very cool stuff. Okay, I need to remember that we are flying A321 today, so shouldn't go too crazy on the flight controls. Climb power. Okay, let's put this autopilot in and disarm those lights, come off. Look at the skies, it's beautiful stuff. Bit of a greenish color actually, I'm not sure where that's coming from. But alright. Cool, and there are actually no constraints whatsoever on our departure route, so it's simply climbing out as it is. But the aircraft is taking quite some time to speed up now. Anyway, after takeoff checklist, landing gears up, flaps are not retracted yet. Oh, I called this one a bit early, didn't I? So let's wait another second until we complete it. Okay, now we can see flap speed is quite close to the maximum. And flaps up. Very well. Okay, now let's try it again. After takeoff checklist, landing gears up, flaps are retracted. The pegs are on and barrel reference is set 1010. Sky colors are actually going crazy. Here it's like pinkish, over there it's green, and to the right it's blue. That's super interesting. Alright, we are climbing up quite nicely. Let's check cruise level is 350, so let's start this up. And then we can go standard on the altimeters, and well, that's basically it from the departure, and I will put you into music and view mode now, and then I will see you back for a nighttime landing over at Sydney. Enjoy! So here we are, guys. Welcome back to the flight deck. Currently descending into Sydney, and Sydney is actually straight ahead. We can see it on the navigation display, so we are heading right onto the airport, which is now just about 20 miles in front of us. Unfortunately, it's super dark out here. There's a bit of a city down there. I think there's a cloud layer now below us, but we can barely see it. Anyway, I hope once we are through the cloud layer, which will likely be on the final approach, and then we have a beautiful look on the nightly Sydney. So yeah, let's see how this is going to be. And well, let's talk about the arrival a bit. Or actually, first of all, before we talk about the arrival, I'd like to say that it took us a crazy 27 minutes to reach cruise level. That's mainly because we headed into some pretty stiff tailwind, and of course the tailwind, as it increases, takes away some climb performance, so that's why it took so long. So we actually only have been in cruise for, I don't know, like 15 minutes or so, pretty short time. Alright, so let's talk about the arrival. We are flying the Rivet 3 RNAV arrival, and it's super straightforward, just from Rivet onto the airport pretty much, and now any second we are gonna cross Boogie, and from Boogie we expect radar vectors to the final, but since we're not using ATC, we do it ourselves. So after Boogie we will turn on heading 335, which will then be parallel to the runway, and then later on it will only be the turn on the final approach course at Addons, and they are 3,000 feet. Pretty easy landing into Sydney, hopefully. So that is the plan at least, and now we are almost passing Boogie. So let's start this to 335. Like this, and we are across, so let's go. Oh no, okay, that was a bit stupid, sorry about that. Pushed it the wrong way, like this. Alrighty, landing system goes on. We are on autobrake low, landing 16 right, super long runway, plenty of exits, should be really easy. Okay, now we actually see some clouds which we are flying through. Let's check the temperature. Okay, it's 11 degrees, so we don't need any engine anti-ice now. Right, so yeah, basically that's how it's going to work, or hopefully that's how it's going to work. So let's hope for a good landing then. And oh, I forgot one very important thing. We of course need to keep descending. Let's go open descent. But then again, we can see we are reaching 3,000 kind of early, so yeah, maybe we only need a very slight descent here. That's a bad thing about the Airbus. In the Boeing, you can see the green arc and it immediately shows you where you're going to be, but in the Airbus, it's much slower, so it actually takes ages to update. But now it seems to be quite stable, so we, yeah, basically when we are parallel to Addons, we can do the right-hand turn onto the final approach. That should work quite well. Alright, and here we actually have a nice view on the city. It's all down there, and we're gonna come across that part of the city later on. Okay, now it's getting a bit bumpy as well. So from Addons it's gonna be 11 point something miles to go, so I think let's go ahead and activate the approach phase, so we can start to slow down, and then basically any second now. Yeah, there's a Clyde, so we are getting below the Clyde, so that's perfect. And well, basically we can go direct Addons now. That should work out fine. Righty. And we can also go manage descent Now it is looking pretty cool with all the city lights being on. However, it's a pretty moonless sky, so it's actually super dark out there. Okay, we're almost at green dot speed, and that's quite convenient now. And we are 14 miles out, so yeah, I think we are good to go flaps 1, right? Yeah, let's go flaps 1. The speed brakes while we're here. Okay, so the glide slope should start at 9.4 miles on the ILS, so still a bit to go. But now it's slowly coming in, it's quite perfect. Okay, so let's arm the approach mode. And that's localizer. Okay, and runway is already in sight. Perfect. Flaps 2. And go around altitude is 3000, so we can leave it as it is. And FPS are coming down a bit now, but of course it's a huge city to load in, and also the airport itself. Quite a lot of scenery. Okay, beautiful, but now we have a really long approach, and we already are visual with runway. Pretty straightforward. I should send out a bit of a disclaimer now, since, or a heads up actually, since I do finally got my hands on the Thrustmaster Airbus Edition side stick, which I'm now using, and it's, in terms of quality, it's much better than the older one I had. But of course it takes a bit to get used to it, so please excuse if the landing is not the smoothest one. It might actually happen. And yeah, also especially regarding the reverse thrust, since now there's this bit of a slider on there. Maybe you know the side stick how it looks. So there's the slider on there for the reverse, but it's kind of, it's a very short way it goes, so it's not so easy to calibrate it correctly. Okay, gears down, flaps 3 and flaps full. Now let's put those lights on. And landing checklist, cabin is not relevant, auto throttle is speed, go around altitude is set 3000, ECAM memo, landing no blue. Cool, so let's see, I will take the aircraft. And now wish me good luck for this landing with the new side stick. And also I really hope that the FPS stay alright. They are coming down a bit now. In general, the controls are so much smoother compared to my old side stick. I mean, this is really meant for the Airbus, so I haven't tried it with any Boeing aircraft yet. Let's see how that works. But for the Airbus, it's pretty nice. I just hope that the throttle quadrant will also be available pretty soon. 1000. It's all sold out now, basically due to the Microsoft Flight Simulator release. Okay, it's a bit of a crosswind, 8 knots from the left. now we are looking very good. Seems like the airport is rather empty right now.
Above 200.
Continue.
Minimum.
Okay, just a touch low now, but feels like we're so high.
50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 10. 5. Retard.
Okay, we've made it. Reverse. Okay, cool. That wasn't too bad actually. Manual braking. Right, and let's see. No, let's take the next one, the high-speed exit. I think that's a bit better. Okay, I think now I'm not quite on idle. And that's a bit weird. The descents are so close together initially. So that's a bit hard to control. Okay, that should be it. Right, flight time, 1 hour and 5 minutes. Oops, I need to switch around, of course. And then doing a bit of a cleanup quickly. And so those come off, like that. Yeah, taxi will not be too long, and the cargo area basically straight ahead. Alrighty, what else? Terrain goes off, and then the weather radar. Like that. Let's keep it on the center line. And okay, lights, we have done that. Let's fire up the APU. Now let's see, so I'm looking for cargo position 4, cargo ramp 4. Let's see if that's somewhere in here. Parking maybe. 4, ramp cargo, there it is. No idea, whatever. Okay, let's see if there's any traffic around, but it looks really empty now. We should quickly put on the strobes just to let them know that we are crossing the runway. I'm not really keeping it on the center line today. Also now steering with the left hand, and previously I've done it with the right hand, so that's also quite a big change. Okay, I think we are going to be quite close to the Singapore 747, so this is our stand right here. Let's turn the taxi lights off. And I mean, it's a huge apron, so we can go a bit off the taxi line. So let's trust our marshaller friend today. Let's see where he puts us. There we are. Okay, that looks quite promising actually. So parking brake. And APU lead goes on and number 2 goes off. Righty, center fuel pumps, the beacon, seat belts, well, technically. And everything else looking good. Okay, block time 1 hour 26 minutes. And so the parking checklist, APU bleed is on, yellow electric pump is off, engines are off, seatbelts are off, external light is as required, fuel pumps are off, parking brake and shocks, so parking brake is on, shocks probably as well, mobile phones are on, transponder is set to standby 2000, and radar and predictive wind shear is off, parking checklist completed. Alrighty guys, and so here we are. Welcome once again to Sydney, the first flight in the A321 passenger to freighter conversion. Quite fun to fly around with this thing, although I have to say it gets to the maximum weight quite easily. So on the news I read, it can take up to 27.5 tons of cargo, I think it was. And I believe when we actually load it all in there, it's gonna be really hard to fly around in this thing, but right, that's what it is. I'm super happy that we have the livery to actually use it. Well, other than that, same as always guys, feel free to leave a comment below and take care of yourselves. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.